Hello everyone, my name is Hari Venkatraman and today I'm going to illustrate you how to draw a use case diagram in in the StarUML software. So first of all, you should have StarUML installed in your system, PC, Mac, whatever you're using, and you can open it via the uh, search bar, and you can open the app this way. So once you open the app, software, you will get this panel, and in this panel you can in the header file you just go to model, go to add diagram and use case diagram. So a use case diagram is typically modeled with use cases represented as ovals and actors represented as stick figure human beings, and the associations are either mutual associations, or there are some dependencies where include is used if, let's say, something can't exist without another thing, another use case. That is where include is used. And let's say there are multiple types of accounts: current account, savings account, checking account, whatever. Those are all extensions of an account. So today we will be drawing a use case diagram for an ATM transaction system, which is our project for that was implemented in C++. So first we will start with two actors. So you just select actor in the toolbox and you just drag it to whatever size you want, and in the bottom bar you just type the label, click enter, and the first actor is created. And then we go and select the next actor, bank. So typically an ATM transaction system will receive information from the customer, go through some transactions, pass it to the bank, and then the bank receives the funds and transfers it back to the machine, and the machine dispenses the cash back to the customer. This is how a typical ATM transaction system works. So first, what does the customer do? A customer enters their debit card into the machine. So we must create a use case for that debit card, and that must have an association with the customer because the customer can enter their debit card into the machine. Now, the debit card has to have some connection with the bank, right? So the debit card must have an account associated with it. So, but however, without this account, this debit card won't exist. So that utilizes the include feature of use case diagrams. So include is because without an account, there's no debit card. It won't exist. And within account, the customer can choose whether it's a current account where there's no constraint for withdrawals. So that will be an extension because a current account is an account just extended, and a savings account where you have some constraints and limitations on how much you can withdraw. And savings will have an extension under here. So now uh, we must have a direct association between the customer and the bank because the customer goes to the bank to create the account. Now the initial part is set. This is the back system. Now we need the front end that as well as the database connectivity. So first we should create a use case of the ATM information. We need some locator and some tracking ID so we can make transactions simpler. So the bank, and it must be accessible only to the bank because the customer is not going to go into the back end and perform the transactions via code. They're not going to work with SQL queries, etc., etc. So the customer performs the selects the transaction from the screen, interactive screen. So ATM transaction. So this is the class where the customer will have a direct association with this. But without this information tracking ID, a transaction would not exist. So this also uses the include feature as well. So what are the possible different types of transactions a customer can make? They can withdraw from their bank account as long as they have sufficient funds. They can deposit into their account. They can transfer money to another account. They can check when their last processing was made on that specific account number, and they can change their PIN of their debit card. So those are four possible operations or transactions, sorry. So the first one is withdrawal. So a withdrawal is a type of ATM transaction. So extension. So this extend feature you can basically think of as inheritance. So basically, if you just know the logical structure of your uh, project, like you just see the intended audience, and to get to the targeted audience, you have to go through a bunch of actors, and each of those actors pass on some of the use cases, and each of those use cases provide some functionalities that are either uses accessible to one actor or not accessible to another's. So that depends on the situation of your project. So it's just a simply just drag and drop and label accordingly to your project and your organization. So let's just complete this use case diagram real quick. So we have query where the customer can see where where and when their last transaction was with their account number, and then we have another use case to transfer money to their account, which is just a deposit, or to another account number. And then finally we will have PIN validation to change the PIN number of the debit card. So this is how to create a use case diagram in star UML. So to save this, just to Control S or Command S on Mac if you're using a Mac, and just save it as whatever your file name. Click save and it will automatically save to your file explorer with this name. Thank you for watching. This is Hari Venkatraman, and this is how we create a use case diagram in the star UML software. Thank you for watching.